Hey everybody, welcome. It's Mr. Reality. I'm joined by psychic medium Liz Cross. Liz, I had a dream that you and I recorded a video and we forgot to press the record button. So hopefully that won't happen this time. How are you?
Oh my God, that's a dream. That's a nightmare.
Yeah, I was dreaming about us doing a video. That's nice that it's coming to my thoughts. This is my Ko-Fi page. I've been trying to post there more often. In fact, I've got an offer if anybody wants to take me up on it for an hour. I'll go back through your past lifetimes and try to remove the trauma and pick it apart and get rid of that. So if you're interested in that, you can go over to my posts at ko-fi.com, see how that would work for you. And I'm just happy to try and help anybody out there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for putting all these probes together for us. We really appreciate everything you do.
Today, I wanted to talk to someone who's very famous, and I don't think she gets enough notoriety, Harriet Tubman. I wonder if she could bring in her and see if we could talk to her about her lifetime and what motivated her.
Oh my God, she's standing here. She's so excited to speak with us today.
What's she wearing right now?
She says, I'm not wearing slave clothes. I'm a modern lady. She's got on a bright red dress.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, she's got earrings. She looks very glamorous. Oh, she's showing me her heels and her matching handbag. And her hair looks beautiful. She looks great. She's got fake eyelashes on, girls. Yeah, she's like, I'm not a slave.
She crossed over about 115 years ago in 1913. Is she incarnated now, or is she working on her next business life plan?
Oh, are you incarnated now? No, she is not incarnated now. She is working on her next life plan, and she just said she wants to be as big as Oprah Winfrey in the next lifetime.
Wow. Well, I mean, is
Mm.
that size or is that notoriety wise? Because, I mean, Oprah has battled weight issues, we know.
Oh, is that no, notoriety, money wise, billionaire, multi-billionaire. She wants to create a business.
What
She
will that
likes
be?
to make an impact.
She certainly did. What will that business be that she's working on? Can she tell us? We won't steal it. No one's listening, really.
What, what is the business you're working on? Uh, it's to do with therapy. It's going to be like an affordable therapy business. A lot of people can't have therapy because it is too expensive.
Hmm.
And the people that need therapy the most are the ones that are broke. So it's going to be this massive therapy network. When are you coming in? Because we kind of like need you now. And she just put her hand on my shoulder. She goes, I know, dear girl, I know. Um, she's got another 100 years before she's back in.
So is that modality that she'll be working therapy in not yet invented?
Will you be working therapy? Yes, it's going to be, it's not yet invented now. No, she will invent it.
Does it have anything to do with technology or is it a talk therapy method she's working on?
Does it have
Not that I'm
any?
trying to steal it. I'm just curious.
No, you won't be around to steal it.
I might be here. I've got plans. I've got a Dracula bed in the other room.
She thinks you're handsome, by the way.
Why, thank you.
Um, no, it is going to involve technology and it's going to be immediate therapy. So you're not going to have to, book appointments, fill out forms, do all that. It's immediately talk to someone right then and there. Because oftentimes when we need to talk to people, we don't have that available. And these are crucial moments when we need to talk.
So I wanted to talk to you about her life as Harriet Tubman. I know it was probably a struggle growing up as a slave. I can't relate to it, but I wanted to ask what motivated her to leave that life. Did she always think about it? What was the catalyst?
What was the catalyst to, what do you mean, like escape or as
To
in leave the
escape her
lifetime?
original her escape her original incarceration or servitude slavery
Mm.
life.
Ah. Okay, I thought you meant escape the lifetime. Sorry. She had no choice. They were going to kill her.
Why?
Why? Because that's what they did. They killed slaves who were non-compliant, who weren't pulling their weight, and they would kill them, bury them. They'd never be heard from again.
How many? So she decided, I got to get out of here if I want to live. How'd she find the strength to move on and escape?
How did she find the strength to move on? Because they had set a date to kill her. They set a date.
How did she find out?
They told her she was going to be killed in 2 to 3 days' time. So she had no choice. She's telling me she escaped. It was okay, well, if you get killed trying to escape, so be it. They're going to kill me anyway.
So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You might as well get out there.
And the thing is, they would use this explanation of when slaves would go missing, oh, they were sold. They weren't sold. A lot of them, that was the excuse so that you weren't seen to be a murderer, the slave owner, but that actually was the case, they would murder you and bury you, and oh, they've been sold. Nobody's going to question that. Nobody cared. Nobody was going to ask the whereabouts of a particular slave. A master's word is what she's saying to me. Her words, a master's word was good enough. He didn't have to prove otherwise. But I'm saying, but even if they did, I mean, if he turned around and said, "Oh, I killed the slave, or I shot this slave," would he be, would anything happen? Well, and she says, nothing really would happen as far as legally, but people would look down upon that slave owner.
It said you were the first African American woman in the U.S. Where is it here? The first African American woman to serve the U.S. military as a warrior and were a spy for the Union Army, scouting ahead. How was that? That's pretty remarkable.
If, well, she's telling me again, there wasn't any choice in the matter. It was either that or she was going to end up captured. She learned a lot. She gained a lot of respect, and it gave her courage, but the options were just not available during that time. It was, you didn't want to be captured at all. When she went missing, alerts would go out that this slave had escaped, that you would be stopped all the time.
And how did she avoid detection if she was one of the America's most wanted back then?
Well, how did you avoid detection? She kept herself busy. You had to have a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging. You belonged here, right? If you're just running around out there with no sense of belonging to a particular, outfit or person or family or farm, or you were targeted. You definitely were targeted. It was open season. You could be captured and put back into slavery.
When she, what was her most proud moment in that lifetime?
What was your most proud moment in that lifetime? She did a lot of medical things.
Yep, she was
And
a
I,
nurse as well as a cook.
was she?
Hmm.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay. She did a lot of medical things, saving people's lives, patching them up, helping them, using those skills to save people's lives.
I wanted to know if she could tell us about the raid on the Combahee ferry, where she freed over 750 slaves.
Oh, can you talk about the raid on the Combahee ferry? It was a nightmare, a bit like your dream. Obviously much worse than your dream. It was a nightmare. They didn't know if they were going to live or die. People were getting killed. You know, I don't know what are the guns with the swords on the end of them?
Bayonets.
The bayonets. That's what she was showing me. Like they had bayonets and they were using those bayonets to kill people. It was horrible.
D- did she plan much of her escape before she came down into this incarnation? I mean, was that abolitionist support, the nursing, the slavery, was that all part of a life master plan?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, it was a master plan. Yes. And all of them were necessary components for her to do to be the legacy that she is.
What were her lifetimes before that
What are
led
you?
up to this powerful woman?
What were your lifetimes before that led up to you being powerful? What sort of lifetimes prepared you for the lifetime? All of her lifetimes, it was all preparation. Listen, she's showing me lifetimes where she was always running away. That's part of her thing, running away from bad situations, running away from slave owners. Were you in? She's been enslaved many lifetimes, not as a Black African woman. She's been enslaved by the Romans. She's been enslaved by different tribes in the Middle East as a male. She's been enslaved all over the world. Uh, she, that's part of her soul plan. That's what she knows. Um, to run away. This is not the first time she's escaped slavery.
And karmically, I wanted to know about the slaves that she assisted in freeing. Is she paying a debt to them, or do they owe a debt to her from being released from servitude?
Do they owe a debt to you? No, but what she did create, they do not owe a debt to her, but what she did create is good karma for herself.
What does that equal on the other side?
What is that equal on the other side? Ooh, you can call in your good karma when you are planning your lifetime. I mean, she's going to be exceptionally wealthy in the next lifetime. She's done with the being poor.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, really. I tell her, know the feeling, Harriet, know the feeling. She's laughing. She's got a great sense of humor, by the way.
What does she miss most about the life plane?
What do you miss most about like being here? You know, when she left, she was glad to leave. She had no regrets. She felt it was a life well lived, and she was excited for the next one. So, I mean, do you miss the earth plane? She misses the potential, she misses the opportunities, and she's looking forward to her next lifetime.
What does she think about the legacy of Harriet Tubman?
She loves that legacy, and she wants to create an even bigger legacy in the next lifetime.
How is that possible?
I know. That's what I was just thinking. I was like, how can you get any more, bigger? How can you be bigger than Harriet Tubman? She goes, oh, wait, my child, you shall see. Um, this thing that she's going to put in motion is going to help so many people. And I feel it's aimed at underprivileged children. It's going to be embedded in the school systems. I'm saying, are we still going to have school systems back? Sorry, in the future? Yes, we will. Will people be homeschooled in the future? Yes. I mean, a lot of the learning will take place in very small buildings, more cohorts, smaller, groups.
More Optimus robot teachers, probably.
Oh, optimistic. Yeah. Yeah. You're not going to have physical people teaching your children in the future. Isn't that such a scary prospect? So let's ask this question. So what about traditional schools? Because schools are often a place of safety for children that have terrible home lives. They're a place where children can have a hot meal when they don't have access to food at home. Like, how will those children be affected? Um, and they will have social workers that monitor these children. Will they deliver food? No, they're not going to deliver food, but they will give these children food vouchers. But I'm saying, okay, but if you have drug addicted parents, anyone who is in that situation, if the parents can use those vouchers to buy drugs, no, she says they're going to make it impossible for anyone else to use those vouchers. Those vouchers will be uh to the individual. And I'm saying, but how are they going to be to the individual? And she says, because it's going to be like DNA affiliated or eye recognition affiliated. You'll have to scan, you know what I mean? You'll have to scan and prove that it's for you. Nobody else can use those vouchers but the child. And I'm saying, thank God, because, those vouchers get stolen by the parents. So what will happen with the traditional school settings where, children have somewhere to go every day? They're being, highly socialized. They're interacting with classmates, they're interacting with teachers. Those are not going to be the norm in the future. Okay. Now, what's going to happen is this experiment is going to be a complete disaster, she says, that eventually, even though they're going to have to reconvene and go back into the traditional classroom, it's going to take a very, very long time. And financially, it's going to be very hard on people to put their children back in the classroom.
I wanted to ask her if she has any opinion about the Tesla robot who might dominate the workforce in other places in the when she comes back in 100 years. What does she see the evolution of the robot look like when she reincarnates?
Kids be taught.
Not necessarily Optimus, but other autonomous robots.
What do you think about robots? They're going to be a necessary tool, but they're also a necessary evil. They're going to remove the sense of purpose that people have in their daily lives by belonging. Again, going back to that belonging to something, belonging to a workplace, belonging to a family. Humans are going to lose a sense of purpose and belonging.
How does she feel about those robots being indentured servants?
Better them than me.
Will they not know that they're servants, so it's okay?
They not know that they're servants. You may have some that turn on you.
What brand are those? Make sure we don't buy them.
Right. I'm like, I need about five of these things right now. I need, if we talk about like housework, I need one to follow my 5-year-old around so they can pick up after him all day long. I need one to, you know, cook. Yeah, one to do the laundry. Like, I can think that do they ever get to have a break? No, you just recharge them. They're going to be battery operated. You recharge them And I mean, will they start wanting like employment rights and things like that? No.
So there's no risk. I'm asking her as someone who was in slavery and the future potential of the fallout that our robots are also slaves. There's no risk of that happening because they're not conscious, she's saying.
Ooh, will robots be enslaved in the future? I mean, yeah, yeah, they are going to be like our slaves, right? And what will happen? Will they rebel? Some will rebel. Will some escape? No. No, they won't be able to escape. So will there be any karmic repercussions by having robots? No, because they're not a living, breathing, soul, caring entity.
Okay. How does she see that playing out, that industry?
She finds it very fascinating.
All right. Well, we find her very fascinating too, Harriet Tubman. Have you ever done something like this before? Is this one of the first times you've talked to a medium?
Have you spoken to? She's been channeled before, but she really enjoyed this. And she says, anyone can call on Harriet Tubman, and she will listen to you and she will understand the frustration that you're going through, how you feel trapped, how you feel enslaved. There are still a lot of people that are enslaved around the world. You know, children are bought and sold. There's, the human trafficking aspect. There's still a lot of slavery around the world. It's just hidden. She was not in the hidden slavery movement. She believes the hidden slavery movement is bad or just, if not worse, because they're often locked away and they can't escape, but there's still slavery going on. She says, so if something doesn't look right and something doesn't feel right, make an anonymous call, report it, and at least give that person an option to leave. If somebody new turns up and they look like they're oppressed and they look like they're enslaved, or maybe you have some females that are not allowed to leave a property and they have been trafficked, pay attention to your surroundings. She says too many people are buried in their screens and they're
Right.
not paying
You see
attention.
that everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with her. So, I think those are good words from Harriet Tubman. Pay attention. You don't know when you need to be a Harriet Tubman and free someone.
Wow. That's super powerful. I wanted to thank her for showing up and chatting with us. Great advice. Let's do a deeper probe at some point in the future on what's real and what's not real in the slavery movement. And we'll try and get that one together for Patreon members as well. Harriet Tubman, thank you so much for being here with us.
Yes, I love her. So thank you so much, Mr. Reality, for putting another fantastic, phenomenal channeling. We love it so much. So thank you for everything you do for us.
Thank you very
Wow.
much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.